Hey guys, it's Trav again. So in this video, I'm going to show you the villager breeder that I use, and it's worked great for me so far in my survival world. Um, I do want to say I'm sorry it's been a little while since I've uploaded a video, almost a week, just because I've been so busy with the perimeter. Okay, and it's on its final stretches. It's on its final stretches. I've been taking care of lava and water so much lately that it's terrible. It's terrible. But it's on its final stretches. I should be done here pretty soon. And then we need to start thinking about the things we could build in that perimeter. And I'm looking forward to it. So it's going to be a lot of fun. So anyway, just to do something different and give you guys something to work on, I'm gonna walk you through the villager breeder that I use and some of the things I've learned from doing it. So let's take a look at what we got here. Now, a villager breeder does not need to incorporate a farm, okay? But doing so allows it to be pretty much self-sustaining. Because in order for villagers to breed, they need to have so much food in their inventories, whether it be processed food like breads, or potatoes, or carrots. They need to have food in their inventory. So you either feed them yourself, or you incorporate a farm. And by incorporating a farm, you can make this a standalone system. Okay, so the whole thing is based around a 9x9 farm. Alright, and that's plenty enough to keep them fed. Beyond that, you need beds for them to breed. And the way that works is you always need at least one bed more than the number of villagers you have. This farm is using 4 villagers, so I'm going to need at least 5 beds for them to breed. Okay, and the way that works is when 2 villagers have food in their inventory, they then account for the number of beds that are within range that they can access. Okay, they need to be able to access them now, and some of the recent updates has changed. Okay, so then they look and they're like, okay, if these 4 villagers see that there's 4 beds, great. Is there 1 extra? Yes. Okay. Do we have food? Yes. Therefore, we can breed. Okay, so then they're going to breed. They appoint a bed for the offspring before they breed. Okay, so it's not the child that says, hey, there's a bed, I claim it. The parents claim the bed before they breed. Okay, so that bed is then taken. So for them to breed again, there needs to be another open bed. So on and so forth. So with these 4 villagers, and if I have, let's see, 8 beds, they will breed 4 times before all the beds are full. So that makes you think, okay, so now how do I make this to where they're not going to stop at 4 babies, that they'll produce more? And the answer to that is move the offspring away from the farm to allow the beds to be unclaimed. So for a villager to unclaim a bed, they need to be at least 100 blocks away, which you'll see with this water stream we're going to make. They need to be at least 100 blocks away, and they need to spend the night away from their claimed bed. So the mechanic of this farm is that after the child is born, it is moved via a water stream at least 100 blocks away from the bed that was appointed to it, and it spends the night. That means the next day, then that bed is going to be available for another villager or another offspring to be produced. So that's the mechanics we're taking care of. The farm to keep them self-sustaining, and the extra bed so that they produce, and then the water stream to carry the babies away so the beds can be then cleared. So that's the mechanic we're taking away from. So let's get into the construction of this. So to save a little time, I've done a little start on this, and like I said, it begins with a 9x9 farm. You knock out the center block for the water. So in order to do that, you knock out the center block and you place a block underneath it. And by having a full block of water, then we could put a lily pad on the top to allow the villagers to walk over without any issues. So that's our 9x9 farm, water, lily pad. Okay? I've added just some walls in here and some light sources to provide light for the crops to grow. So beyond the 9x9, you're going to need to go out on the edges, to put your walls, and then you're going to need 1, 2, 3, 4 spaces before you put your front wall. Okay? So what we're going to do here is we're going to go out 1, 2 from the farm, and we're going to put a line of blocks here. Okay? And then we're going to put 1 here and 1 here, leaving 7 out of the center, just like that. And we're going to place our beds right here. So you can place your beds right on top like this, or if you want them flush to the ground, all you do is you place bottom blocks for now. Then you can go up here and place your beds. So we're going to do 8 beds. So 1, 2, 3, 4 on that side. 1, 2, 3, 4 on this side. Okay? And then what we can do is we can go down here and knock out these blocks. Okay, so now let's go ahead and get our farming workstation in. So here's our composter. We're going to go ahead and cover this up. Great. Now, what we need to do is, so far we've got our farm, and the parents can get to their beds from the sides. Okay, so then they have a path that they can get to their beds so that they can produce offspring. But the center here is where the offspring are going to fall. So to get them to fall, what we need to do is we need to put a top slab down. So I'm going to put a light in the center, and then we're going to take half slabs and put them on the top like this. That's going to allow the offspring to walk into there, and they're going to fall. So to make them think that they can walk up on top of this, we're going to place trap doors like that, and we can open them. Now that tricks them to thinking they can path over. They'll walk over the trap doors, and they'll actually fall into a water stream. Okay, so that's the basics of the top level and the farm. And then what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go through here and fill this with carrots, and then we'll start working on the bottom. So I'll be back in just a second. All right, we're back. So we've got the farm in place, and everything's planted, be it carrots, potatoes, doesn't matter. But we've got those in. Now what we're going to do is we're going to work on our system to deliver the offspring away from the bed so the beds can reset. So we're going to need to come down underneath the farm, and we need to enclose this hole with 2 high walls. Just like that, and let's do the end. Like that. And at the end here, let's go ahead and knock out this one. So what we've got is we have our 2 high all the way down. And on the end, we're going to put a chest and replace this block with a hopper. The reason I do that is every now and then when they're trying to feed each other the carrots and throwing carrots back and forth, some of them will fall in here, and this chest will collect some of the errand carrots, you know, so they're not wasted. All right, so now let's take a water bucket and put it down here, and we could place, and that, what we could do with this is we could just put a let's put a stairs. Find a stair here. On top of that. That way we can still access the chest. Alright, so now what we need to do is we need to turn this and send them away. Now here it doesn't matter what direction they go. You can take them out that way, you can take them out that way, that way, that way. It doesn't matter, but you need to make sure that they go at least 100 blocks away from these beds. So you just figure out the coordinates to where we are. And like if I wanted to go out behind the farm, I'm at, let's make this easy, we're at Z200. Okay, so we need to go this way at least 100. So it'll be Z100, and then we'll probably add 15 or so just to be on the safe side. So we're going to go to about Z85, and that's where we're going to have all the offspring staged. So that's going to be where our collection area is for this farm. Let's go ahead and close this in. So what we could do is then we could start making this water turn. I like to, you could replace some of these in the front with glass if you want, doesn't matter. You know, it just kind of helps you watch to see if you have any issues. But we could replace some of these with glass, no big deal. So what we're going to do is we're going to turn and we're going to send them backwards. So to get that to work, what we need to do is we need to wall this in and we're going to build a trench going all the way to Z85. All right, so let me get started on the trench, and I'll come back in just a second. We're back. And I've dug a trench 2 deep and all the way down at least 100 blocks away from the beds. Here I've gone 115 just to be safe. So what we're going to do here is we're going to start running water all the way down our trench. So the way I do this is if we start here with a water source, at this point the offspring are going to fall down into this water, and then they're going to fall into that water stream, and they're going to be carried down. So when you get to the end of the water stream, you don't need ice, but it does make this to where it's harder for the babies to get stuck. And then what you're going to do is you're going to put a sign at 2 high above the incoming stream and 1 on top of the ice, so the outgoing stream, and you're going to place a bucket there. So then what happens is those 2 streams connect and the children get carried all the way down. So I'm going to start doing this. Now you can use mine carts and have a system that automatically allows the offspring to be loaded into mine carts and then moved away from the farm. However, they're quite complicated for what you want for the objective here, so I wouldn't recommend it unless for some reason you put your breeder a long way away and you want your offspring moved a good distance to something, to an area. Then you might go with a minecart design. But definitely for ease of build, just using water streams is a much simpler alternative. Now, if you find that the babies are able to bounce out and get out, you might want to cover this part up. Not like that, though. You know, maybe just put a couple blocks right there to allow them to get through. But it's, you know, you may find that necessary, you may not. But that's how you could fix that if that ever becomes an issue. Alright, just about done. Looks like one more water stream ought to do it. Okay, so at the end, we're going to need just a staging room that they can't get out of. So what I like to do at this point is clear out a room. Let's go 5. I like to have them fall off the water stream. Into a room. So they're stuck in here. Yeah, this is plenty big enough here. Yeah, there we go. So they can't get out. And then now in my survival world, what I'll do is have a loading room here. And I'll clear this out, and then when I'm ready to take villagers out, I can get them out, and I can put them on minecarts and move them away. And you'll see that when we take a look at the one I've got in my survival world. But at least what this purpose of this here is, all of them will come into here, they'll spend the night away from their beds, and that'll allow the beds to reset so that the villager breeder can continue to produce without any input. So make sure here, let's go ahead and fill in any spots where they could get loose. So like this. We're going to want light in the back here to prevent any kind of spawning. So let's make sure we put a light back here to prevent any kind of spawning. And overall, everything's looking good. And just like that. So let's take a look at the one I got in my survival world real quick, and we'll wrap this thing up. Okay, so here's the one I have in my survival world. Underneath, I've got that chest. Got a ladder here to go up top. There's my breeders. And there's the farm, the trapdoors where the children all fall. I got rid of their beds because I don't need any more villagers right now. Up top, there's a hole. Let me climb up here. Up top I have a hole, and that's where I brought these villagers in. You can see the train tracks coming down. I brought them in mine carts, and they were in here. One thing you have to remember to do is, wherever you build your breeder, make sure you go around and there's no villages nearby that are going to have any kind of beds or workstations in them that are going to affect your breeder. Okay? And then so what I've got here is this goes all the way down. And I just have windows here so I could check and just make sure everything's moving, but I haven't had any issues with it so far. And this minecart here is taking them back towards my base to where I can move villagers, you know, to wherever I need them, be it a trading hall or the farms. And then down here is where all of them end up, in this little room here. And then I just bring them through this wall and put them on a minecart and send them out of here. And it's worked great so far. So that's how it looks in the survival world. That's the farm. I've never had any issues with it. Good luck, guys. If there's anything else you need or have any questions or comments, let me know down below in the comments. Please like the video and subscribe for future content. The perimeter is going pretty well, so there's definitely going to be a witch farm in there, a wood farm, but if there's anything else that you think would be cool to build in that, let me know. It's going to be a fun zone where we can kind of go crazy with some of our farms. Anyway, guys, look forward to seeing you soon. Enjoy your week. This is Trav.